All right, we are live. Star Wars Adventures D6, Monday Night Adventures, the Abandoned Asteroid, Part 5. Holy crap, Part 5. So, let's see. Tonight, Brett will not be here. He's got sort of a work commitment. He's got a deadline. So he's not going to be here, so we're going to be down one. So Rito goes back to being an NPC. Which is about half the time. Yep, that's a dig at you, Brett. So when you go back and you listen to this, that's right, making fun of you. All right, so just a brief recap of when last we got together. You guys had finally made your way out of the landing bay, up some stairs, down a hall. Harris was doing really, really bad with his radiation sickness. You guys had found some crew quarters and an armory that was completely devoid of any equipment. You decided to go ahead and do a quick search through the living areas. Not 100% complete check, but went through and just kind of made sure there were no other droids and stuff like that of that nature. Entered into the med bay area, found a 2-1B medical droid that had its motivator ripped out. 2 bacta tanks, one that had been smashed. You guys came up with the idea of maybe some of the parts from the ASP-7s that you had been fighting with down in the landing bay may have had a usable part, or perhaps the part storage area would have what you guys were needing. So Krail went down, found a motivator that sort of was universal in its application on one of the droids, brought it back up, put it into the 2-1B droid, to which it came back online, screamed, said to get away from it, that it wasn't its fault, and don't let them deactivate me, no, and then it shut down. At that point, I believe Elo took a quick look at it, and all it needed to do is just be started back up. The droid started back up. You guys explained to him how Harris was in need of medical attention, and he went over there and rendered it, asked for some aid to help put him in the bacta tank, and that's where you guys put him. And at that point, I believe that it was, oh goodness, it was Ray, and I think Krail, and Akiro? No, Akiro stayed. I can't remember.
Stayed with Harris.
Rito.
Rito went kind of exploring towards the north part of that area. You found a hallway leading to a turbolift door, and then you found sort of a cafeteria area. Going through that, you'd found a calf machine. Rito had found sort of the food area, and actually found that there was some food that was well preserved here, and pretty much made himself a bowl of food. In the meantime, I do believe it was Ray went off and made an awesome smelling and tasting pot of calf, to which everybody sort of like hung around and was like, oh. It was kind of like the whole caveman fire thing. You guys had your moment, headed on back, and as you guys were heading back, you guys were attacked by another group of ASP-7 droids. You sort of made a bit of a stand. They came in, they charged at you. There was some pretty exciting stuff. Krail had crossed the hall to sort of watch the back area. That hadn't been his original intention, but it ended up being a good thing because another group of 2 or 3 ASP-7s were trying to come from the rear. And after a bit of a firefight and some additional damage and stray blaster bolts and stuff of that nature, everybody was back towards the medical bay. When you guys noticed that the 2-1B droid was sort of acting a bit very concerned, looked at you guys, and you looked at him, and you noticed that there's some sparking coming from the top of the bacta tank, and the 2-1B droid looked at you and went, "We're losing him." And that is where we left off. Did I miss anything, guys?
No,
Anything
I think
important?
that's smart.
All right, then. So that is where we'll res back in. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to, if this was a movie and stuff like that, the camera would be spinning around Akiro at this point, just kind of signifying just his whole head reeling from everything that's going on. Why can't I save Harris? It just seems like I'm doomed. And What do you guys do? Who does what? You've got your scene painted for you. Role play it out.
I'm gonna rush over the droid and say, "What the hell do you mean we're losing him?"
Anyone else? What do you got? What are the rest of you doing? I got what Kiro's doing.
Krail's gonna go make sure there's not any more droids coming on our backside.
All right,
He's going to offer his assistance to the 2-1B.
Ray.
All right, wait out, guys. Krail's heading down there towards that hallway. You know what Ray's got planned.
Ray's gonna see if I can help with the computer or anything like that. You know, I'm trying to help the droid also get in computers. Ray's forte, you know, maintenance a little bit more computer. Is there anything I can help with too?
All right, so you two are rushing over to there, and Krail's heading down the hallway to watch that the back area. Rito, you see him take one look at the 2-1B, look at Harris floating in the blue, the pale blue bacta fluid, and you see him look at one of the droids that's crumpled to the ground and stomp it on the back of the head and storm out of the room. All right, so at this point, Ray and Harris, you guys are walking over to the 2-1B, and the 2-1B is frantically moving its hands over the controls. What do you guys do then? You said you're going to try and offer up assistance. Tell me how you guys are going about that. Narrate what you see for me.
I've got some medical training, so I'm going to... I'll take a look at one of the panels that has some monitors displaying his vital statistics and see where he's failing, so I can try and come up with a medical concoction to help stabilize him, get him back into the green zone, as it were.
All right. Ray, tell me how you're trying to help out.
I'm seeing the sparks coming out of the... does it look like the back tank was hit by that stray blaster bolt? Or
it looks like... Go ahead and make a perception roll then. Head on over there, take a quick look at it. And, no one's actually taken a look to see what type of damage, if any, has happened to the bacta tank. So
okay.
Why don't you go ahead and go...
I hate to sound like a knob, but how do I get Ray's character sheet up again? Since I'm
shift double-click the token.
I didn't check the tanks. I just remembered last time you saying that a blaster bolt almost hit the tank.
That is exactly what I said.
Yep.
So I need a perception out of you. Elo, you're just trying to go ahead and roll a... At this point, it's going to be a tech roll. Harris, that is a great roll. That is a significant success or spectacular success. Can you narrate out kind of what you see and give yourself a bit of a small bonus relating to your search?
Okay, searching, I see the carbon scarring where the stray blaster bolt hit the computer control cabling that goes from the Medroid station to control the upper input of the bacta tank. Seeing that the that cable is, if not blown in half, is damaged. Knowing enough about computers to know I can't fix that, but
okay.
I'm assuming a mechanic will be able to.
Sounds awesome. Why don't you go ahead and yell that on over to or inform Elo of that. He's sort of your guys' tech guy.
Yep. Elo, look at that cable.
What?
I think it's frayed or knocked loose. Pointing out to him. And
yep, definitely. That cable is scrapped. You take a look at that, Elo, and you can immediately ascertain this is a very important bit of cabling.
Okay.
This is the one that pretty much controls all of the functions inside there. So what's happening is it's reading as though because that information is cut off. Mm-hmm. The board is pretty much reading that Harris is dead, and that that's a misnomer, but it's also true because you now have no control over what's going on in there, and Harris will die quickly soon if that cable is not corrected, is not fixed. 1 second. Yes, sweetheart.
Read this. Yes, sir.
1 second, guys.
Yep.
Sure.
Been a while since he's called me sweetheart.
Well, that wasn't directed at you.
A man can dream. All right, so we need a new cable, huh?
Well, there's another bacta tank right nearby, so
That's
Oh, awesome.
blown to crap, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, but
Yeah,
if the cable's
well-
okay up above,
Yeah.
because the tank was ruptured.
The tank itself's damaged. The cable might not be. Thus, the military saying, 2 is 1, 1 is none.
Yep.
So yeah, that's probably the route I'm going to be going for.
Sounds good.
If nothing else, we could try and effectively hot wire the cable back together. If we
Anyone
don't
have
have any good material.
Yeah, be
Anyone
sure to
have a
call me.
soldering iron?
Soldering iron works great in some situations. In other situations, you superheat a blade. Should help it.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. I had
No
to step away, take care of a family thing. Shower. Jesus, you stink. Go take a freaking shower. I
So-
don't care if you can still hear.
Rito.
All right,
So
I'm
we've
back.
got the damaged cable. I'll look over at the other bacta tank that has been smashed open. Is the cabling still good going from the wall to that unit?
I would say sure.
Okay. We're gonna go and try and get that one disconnected safely so we can swap it out.
All right, so Ray is going to render assistance to you, correct? You're going to be taking the lead on this?
I intend to.
All right, excellent.
You're the keyboard jockey.
Let's see. In that case, I'm going to need at least a command roll out of you. If you don't have that, it'll be perception. Don't have a stump stat there, Pathfinder boy.
Too bad
Wow.
Harris can't help you with command.
Yeah, well, he's sort of floating in some blue jelly right now.
That's a skill I'm looking at.
That's my command.
Okay. Yeah, he will be able to give you. Hold on 1 sec. A +2
Okay.
to take that apart and bring it on over. So go ahead and make a tech roll for me at +2. 4D
Okay.
+2 for you. All right, that will be sufficient. You guys get over there, and the 21B droid looks at you, and if a droid could look sad, he looks very, very sad. Akiro is sort of like standing over his shoulder, kind of arms crossed, very concerned look on his face as he looks up at you guys, knowing that he wants to help, but he'd be more in the way if he got over there or not. So he's actually being a bit reserved and quiet for Akiro, and that's when you know things are bad. So you guys get up there, quickly start yanking stuff out. Sparks fly. Kind of get down in your eyes a little bit, kind of getting. Well, I would say in your hair, but Elo, you have no hair.
Yep.
So kind of like skitters off the top of your head, kind of like lightning bugs, and you guys start moving back over, and the 21B droid goes, "We don't have much time." So just so you guys know, this is going to be exceedingly hard to get this done in the amount of time you have. So.
Okay. Well, I will try my damnedest to make sure it happens.
Okay. Just so you guys know, it is a life or death situation.
Yep.
All right. So again, all you're going to get at best is going to be a +2 off of Ray to
All
help
right.
assist to get this thing wired up. So what are your plans to do?
We're gonna rip out the old cable, chunks and stick in the new cable, and hope to heaven that it works.
Alrighty then. Go ahead and roll your tech skill at +2.
Can I jump in?
Nope.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend a character point. And I'm going to spend a character point.
Okay. Are you happy with that?
It's the best I can do, unfortunately. I've spent
Can
2.
I toss a CP in since I'm helping him, just to be sure?
No. The best you can do at this point is add in the additional modifier.
Okay.
I was hoping for a force point out of this. The panel explodes. It does not.
Yay.
It does not work. You see Harris's eyes flash open for a brief second, slowly roll back into his head, and he expires.
No.
Can I attempt one more thing?
I'm open.
All right, since the cable's not working, we've still got power lead coming off of the wall. I'd like to try and bridge it with my arm.
That is brutal.
It's not a power connection problem. It's the whole apparatus thing that controls inputs and outputs and controls and the micro things is what is screwed up.
Can I jump in and try to jerry-rig the computer controlling on it? Because we got a good cable there now, but if that, set a feedback into the computer's repair is Ray's forte. So can you jump in and?
Okay. Maybe I didn't explain it very well, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back and I'm going to explain this again. Okay. The computer that the T1B droid is using, all right, is a control panel that controls the input of certain chemicals and electrical currents and all other kind of doohickeys and monitors and stuff like that for the bacta tank. Okay. The control module, which is connected to the computer, is what is damaged.
Oh, okay.
It is not a lack of energy. It's a lack of.
Could we wire the 2-1B directly to the bacta tank?
With the amount of time you have, probably not.
Does the bacta tank have a emergency course that can put him into like a stasis for a short period of time?
I'm not 100% sure. Let's. I don't even know how to handle that. Tell you what I will do then. Odd or even?
You call it, Les.
Looking around this group, we're all odd.
Yes, it has one.
Yay.
No, Andy, I rolled my 4D,
Oh, okay.
my 2 pips, and then spent 2 character points.
Gotcha.
All right, so Elo, you are frantically moving around the outside of this thing. You successfully find a shunting system for putting someone into a stasis.
Okay.
You only briefly read over it. All you do see is in great big letters, danger, and you're like, I don't have anything else better. I can try it. So you go ahead and you hit that button. The color inside immediately changes, and let us see if it's going to be enough. Okay. At this point, Ray is floating inside the tank. I'm sorry, not Ray. Harris.
About to say.
They're.
I'll make that trade.
Suddenly, Harris is better in raising stasis.
I'll play that trade. Yeah.
Okay. You don't know if he's alive or dead, and the controls for the T1B, the control panel for the bacta tank is not working correctly. So at this point, you have no idea whether Harris is alive or dead.
Well, I'm going to yell for the 2-1B to get over to me.
Okay. He comes over on his little, spinny wheel thing. Sorry, actually, I think it's a treadmill. Treads. He comes over on treads.
All right. All right, droid. You've got medical software inside you, correct?
I am indeed a T1 medical droid. I have many programs, including, and he starts listing off the different species that he is qualified to operate on.
I'll cut him off. What is the feasibility of you modulating and controlling this bacta tank if you were directly wired to it?
Okay.
He looks at you and he stops, and I mean, if a droid could like blink at you stupidly, that's the impression you get. Well, I'm sorry, sir, but Master, I am a medical droid, not a technical droid. I have no idea about that. My personal specifications are, and he starts listing them off.
I get on my comlink and call out to Krail.
That's what I was getting ready to do.
Sure.
Krail, get in here.
All right. How much time has transpired before I get this call?
I don't know. Not very much time at all. Maybe 5 minutes.
Okay, what I was looking to do when I was over there was, one, look around to make sure there weren't any active, and then two, take those 3 and try to pile them at the top of the stairs precariously.
Sure. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, I'll move into the med area.
I'll go switch places with him.
How's he doing?
He's really bad. The bacta tank is screwed. We've lost the computer for it. I'm wondering if the 2-1B can be hooked up to him.
Oh, like directly hardwire?
Yes. You know more about droids than I do.
Well,
Do you think that a 2-1B could handle processing the bacta tank's capabilities directly?
If you'd like, why don't you let me take a look at your character real quick, Krail.
I'll ask the med droid some pertinent questions in the meantime.
I will allow you to roll a tech skill at +5.
Okay. Would this specifically be droid?
It would be tech +5.
Gotcha. All right. So, boom, 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 boom.
Okay, you happy with that roll?
No, actually, I want a 20. I'll take that.
Well, you got a 35.
Yep.
So,
1 point.
I'm going to allow you to go ahead and narrate out your knowledge in this area, and narrate yourself a minor, advantage. Okay, none of this. Well, all of a sudden, yes. In fact, in medical, back in tech school, blah 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 blah. This we had a 2-1B droid, blah blah blah, and a bacta tank. Nothing like that. Nothing silly like that. Okay.
Right. Well, after asking, I'm asking the droid a few questions about like its fuse systems and whether it can actually take the hardwire, and everything seems to pretty much be theoretically possible, except it would blow from the power because of the fuses. But it just so happens the standard fuses on the ASP droids do exchange and are a little heftier than this medical droid comes with.
Alrighty. So you're saying that the medical droid theoretically could be hooked up to this thing, but as it stands right now, without some like modifications using parts from the ASP droid, it is not recommended.
Correct.
Alrighty then. There you guys go. He told you what you wanted to hear.
All right, so what do we got to do to make this happen?
Go grab me a fuse relay out of one of those ASPs, if there is one, and I'll try to get this thing ready.
All right.
Awesome.
I will head out there and do so.
All right. Droid repair if you have it. Otherwise, straight tech.
I have droid repair.
All right. Go ahead and roll it up.
Oh, you do? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
But he's got a really shitty roll, so.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a character point.
15.
One more.
Ah!
So that's a 14.
Character points are not good
So
for you today.
close.
All right. You grab one of the asp droids. You flip it over on its back. The area that is in its shoulders, there's a panel back there that you end up prying open. You're having difficulty with this because you're starting to be very, very worried about Harris and his probability of life or death. And this is really kind of screwing with your ability to concentrate. And that's why you're having trouble with this. So you end up getting the back off. You take a small cut on your hand, obviously on your, real hand, not your fake one, because yeah. So anyway, you take a small cut on the hand, pull it off on the back. In frustration, you smack the floor twice. Take a moment to kind of breathe in, focus yourself, and you get back into work. You finally are able to pull out the bus control, and as I said before, the ASPs are use a lot of universal pieces, or they're meant to be hardy and easy to repair. You yank that out of there, get up and take off back down the hall. In the meantime, Krail, you're bringing the 21B droid over, and you're explaining to it that it is, you're going to start poking around inside it. And it is like, no. Dun,
dun, dun. God, well, I want to try to talk him into at least somehow me getting him shut down.
Role play it out. Right now, you're telling him, hey, look, you know what? We need you to go over here. I'm going to have to pop your thing on the back, remove this, do this. And he's just like, I'm sorry, that is not within my parameters. You are not okay to be poking around inside me. I'm sorry, Master. I cannot allow that.
Ooh, I take a stab at his shutdown button.
Okay. Go ahead and make, I'm going to say, a brawling roll.
Get him, Krail.
Oh, man.
You
All
go,
right.
Mr. You go 2D boy.
I know.
Mr. Dumpstat. Ha ha ha!
Hey, dumps knowledge.
Dump is both strength and knowledge and mech and perception. Basically anything that wasn't tech or dex.
I
See,
got,
that's funny because
got
my mech is 4D and my perception's 3D, and yeah.
not
yeah,
yet.
it's almost like you guys had carbon copy characters.
Not
Whatever.
yet.
It does.
I made mine first.
13.
13.
You were done.
Theoretically, yes, I am.
All right. Let's see if he can dodge away from you.
Yep.
He moves away, and you miss. And now he knows that you meet him no goodwill.
We mean him
Yeah.
great will. That's why we're not shooting him.
Yep.
Actually, you rolled a 13, right?
Let me look at that.
You had a
Yes.
13. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
I did.
All right, then you barely get it. I apologize. I had to look at that twice.
Fingertip. Ugh.
Yep, you get it by the fingertip, and not only that, I used your macro instead of the one that I was supposed to use for them. So, all right. So you grab at it, you hit the switch, and as he powers down, boom. Shoulders slump, the lights go out behind the eyes, the chin droops to its chest.
Who else is in here?
I do believe that it's Akiro and Ray.
No, Ray went to guard where Krail was.
Yeah, I'm guarding up. Well, up the other hallway since
Oh,
Krell
towards the turbo
called
lift.
all good. Yeah.
Well, Akira, give me a hand, and we'll drag that thing over there.
All right, so basically what you have over here is going to be, it looks like it's Krail and Akiro
Okay.
are the only ones in the med bay at this point.
Yep, I'm yanking a part out.
Yes, indeed. So at this point, Harris, Krail, you've shut the droid down.
I'll start prepping it for interface.
All right, You pull the back off, yank out the circuit bus. Elo comes running in, breathing quite a bit harder than he normally is. I mean, you can definitely tell that Elo is ready for a adrenal dump. Not used to this level of things happening or going badly. Hands off the part to you, and stands by to help or render assistance as needed. He hands it over to you. You slap it in. It's going to take some doohicking and fiddling around. Go ahead and make a droid repair roll at +5. Which is a great roll. On top of slipping that in there, you do see that this droid has had a minor upgrade on it that will allow will allow for a faster interchange of information across its matrix. Something that you only see in stuff like R2 droids and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a strange upgrade on it, but fortuitous.
Beautiful.
So at this point, you're looking at that, and you're like yanking wires out of the wall on this thing that's above the bacta tank. There's some sparks that go off. You ignore it. You get a couple of shocks in your fingers. You just kind of stop real quick, shake them, and you just kind of like muscle your way through it. Elo is helping you or assisting you as best he can. Feeding you wires. You guys are kind of doing this whole silent communication thing. All right. You're getting ready to finish up the wiring of this tank to the droid. All right.
Okay.
This is going to be your final roll, and this is the one that has to count. If it does not work, okay, we're done.
With him.
With him, we're done. I mean, we're
so
done.
Force point.
Yep. Yeah, I got the force point in mind.
Okay, well, I need to know what you guys are going to do then. So, you got all your parts there. You're sort of like closing your eyes, praying to whatever universal bird of the galaxy or whatever it is you're going to do. What are you guys going to do then? Just roll your straight skill, spend some character points. What are you going to do?
Oh, I'll be spending character points likely.
Okay, you cannot use character points and force points on the same thing.
Ah, thank you. And the force point gives me what number-wise?
It doubles everything.
Okay.
So if you've got a droid repair skill right now of 5D plus 5, it would become 10D plus 10.
Gotcha.
This is going to be a tech skill. This is not going to be a droid skill. So you have a tech skill of 4.
Copy that.
You are getting a +4 from Elo, so you would have an 8 plus 8.
Do I have to spend that force point now or after the die roll?
You have got to tell me before you do it.
Because you actually roll double your pool size, so you would roll 8 dice and add 8 to it.
Gotcha.
It's up to you. Don't feel like you have to do it. I mean,
no, but if I'm going to do it, this is a perfect opportunity.
Yes, it is.
Kiro's over there just wringing his hands.
Yeah.
Basically, you got everybody doing a whole lot of hand wringing.
I've made my decision.
All right, what's it going to be?
It's going to be that. 41.
Yay!
Okay, now, just so you know, that is not a spectacular success, but it is a success.
Yes. I don't need spectacular. I just need it to work.
I just want you guys to understand how difficult this roll was. All right? You guys, by the use of a force point, all right, have altered fate in the Star Wars universe. That's how important those points can be when used at the right times. So, at this point, at least the interface is proper. You reach over there, you flip the droid switch back on. It's, kind of like, what is going on? It kind of like spins around a little bit and tries to move on its little treadmills. Or what do you call those? Tracks. Whatever. On its little track thingy. And you reach over very quickly, knowing droids very well, and sort of thinking that this might have happened. You reach over real quickly. You pull a relay that's up underneath, like sort of a fender well sort of area. Sparks go shooting out from underneath the 21B, and it can no longer move back and forth. So it's not going to yank the interface out at this point. So someone needs to tell the droid what the heck is going on.
I look over to the droid and say, "My friend is dying. Make sure that doesn't happen," and glare at him.
Okay.
Access respiratory and life controls of the bacta tank and reinstate them.
Okay. You see, it's sort of there's like almost like a switching that takes place behind its eyes. Looks at you. This is amazing. This interface, I've never used it before. This is definitely beyond my programming. I will do my very best, and it almost goes into just like stands or just stays in one spot and does not move for several minutes.
I'll monitor them.
Okay, it is not moving in any way,
There's
shape, or
secondary
form.
displays that I had before.
What's that?
I'm going to go back to those secondary displays for his vitals.
Okay.
If they're still functional.
Again,
They're not wired in. Right?
They're not wired. That is correct. I mean, you guys are basically
so they're
completely.
still dead. Check.
Yeah. In fact, they're even more dead than they were before. Whereas before you had some, now you have none.
No problem.
Does the medical droid have a hollow projection unit?
You know what? I don't see that.
Okay.
Can you justify it for me?
No, I can't justify that.
Okay. Well, then the answer's no. Then.
Yep.
I stare at the droid and say, "Why are you not helping my friend?"
He's on it. He just has to access all this stuff.
Okay.
Every moment he spends wasting staring at this thing is another moment that my friend is dying.
Go ahead and give yourself a point, a character point for role playing that out. All right. After probably about 5 or 10 minutes, you see Harris floating in the tank begin to sort of thrash around and seize.
Well, that's a good sign.
This kind of goes on for a little bit, and then it's almost as though he kind of relaxes a little bit, and he has a couple of twitches, and then is quiet.
The droid?
The droid comes back online. I've done the best that I can for him. This is beyond my programming. Everything I'm doing at this point is guesswork.
You're doing a wonderful job. Everything is beyond your programming, so you're already acting outside your parameters.
Okay. 21B looks at you. That's pretty much the first nice thing anybody has said to him since he was woken up from whatever traumatic experience he was shut down 7 years ago from. And he looks at you. I believe your friend is stabilized, but I don't know if he has suffered any cerebral damage at this point.
Well, some of that was pre-existing.
I just stared at the droid and he said, and Nacho say, "He better be all in one piece for your sake."
Yes, because intimidating droids that are trying to save your friend works. So
yeah, he's not thinking clearly.
I get it. All right, so he looks at you and he says, I cannot speak as to his cerebral functions and stuff of that nature, but at this time, if levels remain as they are, he should physically be fit in a couple of hours.
That's the best we could ever ask for. And I pat him on the back.
Okay. And he just sort of goes back into monitoring mode and just doesn't move. All right, guys. There's your scene. Ray, you're down at the end of the hall, and you're doing kind of like the whole search thing, making sure that no one's coming up from the rear.
Yep.
That's your thing. Anything in particular you're going to be doing other than just kind of like just hanging out there, trying to be unseen, or you just standing there going, okay, look, you know what? I'm looking to see if anybody's coming from that direction, and if they do, I'm going to yell and haul ass.
Now, I'm looking around the cafeteria, anything like that that I can spread out as a noisemaker on this end, just like Krail did, down coming up the top of the stairs.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and make a search roll for me?
You could use like food trays to make a house of cards.
Yes, that would be fun.
Yeah. Okay. What does search fall under? Perception?
Oh, guys, I just realized something on Krail's roll.
Uh-huh.
1 second. Let me see.
What, the one on the wild die?
Okay, just so you know, you rolled exactly what you needed minus your dice to get that interface up and running. You needed a 35.
Gotcha. Oh, and yeah, I see.
Oh, that's a 7, actually. So that makes a 34, which is close enough. I'll throw a complication on the end.
Gee, thanks.
If Ray's still alive, he'll be like, da 40 thorn toothpicks. That's right, counting cards in Vegas.
I was actually thinking of throwing it in at when it happened.
What's that? Telling me that you had that? Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're not going to retcon it.
And
Yeah, I was gonna volunteer a whole bunch of electrical damage and get shot across the room.
No, that's all good. It's that's one of the options for the game master is not to do anything with it. So
That's
you're
right.
perfectly fine. All right then.
Which is the option that Harris likes right now.
You have no idea what I'm going to do to you yet, so you may not be happy. We'll see. All right. Your search roll was a 10. You know what? It takes you probably close to 10, 15 minutes of searching. You will find, different things around here that you can use for noise making and stuff of that nature. It just takes you a bit longer because you didn't make a very good roll.
Yeah.
So, why don't you narrate out to me what you find and what you plan to do with it?
Okay. As I was looking around, kept focused on, okay, well, he used droids, so I've got to use droids, and wasted minute after minute looking for droids close enough for me being Ray to be able to drag that far. Eventually, it dawns on me. It doesn't have to be anything that makes noise. So I go dig through the old trash receptors and that kind of stuff from all and finding the cans that Rito used to open to make his food. Got those and some other, paper and crinkly things, and scattered it out at random out there.
Okay, pots, pans, bowls,
And, yeah.
tinny droid parts, etc. All right.
Yep.
You get all that stuff. You got sort of a good pile collected. What you gonna do with it?
Spread it out around that T intersection where the hallway up by where my Ray's character is. That T intersection in there. That way, anything coming from either side will make noise and we can hear it.
Are you talking like right here?
Yeah, in that area.
Right here? Here? I mean,
Spread it out all through that area. If I don't have enough, then
bigger.
Yeah. Well, let me move my character first. There we go. Yeah, that way. That's general ideal for it.
all right then. That's all you're gonna do then, Ray. So basically, you guys, I'm going to say that Rito is. You're making enough noise. Rito's gonna like peek around the hall, look down at you. You guys kind of like catch sort of your eyes, kind of meet there for a second, and you just kind of see almost if you know Rito well enough, it almost looks like he like huffs and walks away. All right, guys.
I shrug my especially being Ray, I shrug my shoulders and keep doing what I'm doing.
Awesome. All right then, rest of you guys. What's the plan at this point, guys?
Is there one?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you guys. You're the role players. I'm the game master. I fuck with your shit. You just tell me what you do.
I'm perfectly fine with fortifying this area until Harris pops out of the tank.
That's going to be a while, isn't it?
Could be.
Akira's plan was basically just to pace the room and keep himself from having a heart attack from stress.
Because if we leave this area, the 2-1B won't be able to protect the bacta tank when he's wired directly to it. And
True.
if the droids happen to come by, Harris is, well, pickled.
He could be pickled already.
If
he'll
so,
be
I
fine.
prefer Captain Morgan's. If I'm pickled in anything, make it Cap Morgan.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I mean, you know what? When you were seizing, well, I'm sorry, when Harris was seizing in there, I almost went like the extra mile to add some detail and some reality to it. Whereas when you guys are watching, you see like a little cloud come from the front and back of his area. So you know he's voiding, peeing and pooping at the same time. But I decided that was just not Star Wars. Who wants to poop in the back of the tank, huh? Nobody wants to poop in the back of the tank. That's like pooping in the whirlpool. No one wants to poop in the whirlpool. That's just wrong. All right, guys. So again, I kind of need to know what you guys, your plan is, so that I can move the story ahead.
I propose that I hang out here and monitor this while you guys go check out how they backdoored us. You know what I mean?
Before we go exploring, since it's been a while since we've got rest, do we want to do like a sleep watch rotation for like 8 hours or so?
Man, that wouldn't be a bad idea, would it?
Never know. There might be something in this med bay that you could use to, help with that.
Yeah, but we aren't allowed to touch the stems according to the med droid.
What's he gonna do now? Use harsh language on you?
Fuck with Harris.
I suppose he could
I don't
do it.
think the droids are programmed with a spike, like a spite subroutine.
We don't know what this droid's all rigged up to.
I'll get a better idea. I'll stay with the droid and stick in the med bay. I'll keep one of the carbines, so if any of the alarms go off, I can get on the comm link and defend.
Well, if you think you can suitably defend the place on your own and we can drag Akira out of here, that's fine.
Just don't go too far.
I'm fine with that.
All right, so guys, Krail offers to stay and watch Harris and suggests to Elo and Akira to, cowboy up and apparently go find out where the droids came from behind, or just where they came from. I'm sort of unclear on that still.
Trying to find where the droids came from.
Well, there was two groups of droids.
We're going to explore the turbo lift.
All right, good enough. You guys meet up with Ray in the hall. You can tell that there's just a bunch of junk tossed out on the floor haphazardly, all about. Really sort of unclear as to what that is. Neither one of you have a combat background, correct? Elo and Akiro?
I have blaster skill, but no, he's more pilot mechanic.
All right, I meant more. I don't give a crap about your skills. I care about your background. You got sort of any sort of a military background or any that sort of thing, or not really? Neither one of you, right?
Nope.
Okay, so you really are sort of what the hell is this? And of course, Ray doesn't actually have a military background either. He's just a computer guy. Really, maybe he saw it in a movie or something like that. So anyway, you guys head on down the hall. You sort of see Rito is down on the far end of that one hall, just sort of kind of moving the droids around a little bit more. You see him sort of sitting on the floor, blaster sort of hanging over the top of one of the droids' bodies, looking down the stairs back down to the landing area. He just waves you guys on. So at this point, Elo and Akira and Ray are all standing sort of in that lobby-like area, right in front of where the cantina is, and a hallway exiting down to where there is a turbo lift. with a bunch of junk in the middle of the room, kind of spread all around.
All right. I say we move towards the turbolift, guys.
I'm okay with that. And Akira just seems distracted.
Well,
With Akira acting distracted, I make sure he's got his blaster on him and didn't lay it down in the med bay.
Yeah,
Um,
I got it.
All right, he's got it on his person.
Okay. Who's going first?
I guess I'll lead.
I'll follow you.
All right, so to walk through this crap and junk out here, I need a sneak roll from people. If you don't have sneak, we'll go ahead and default it to Dex.
All right.
So whatever order you guys are going in.
It's Elo, then Akira.
Okay,
I
you
believe.
know, like a ballerina, you make your way through this stuff. I mean, you see, you know, a vibro can opener. You see pieces of alum, and you know, a couple pots and pans and stuff of that nature.
Akira is less ninja-like due to his scatterbrainness at the moment, I would say.
Taking a little bit of extra time, Kira, you make your way through it. Ray?
Okay.
Ray is ninja-like. In fact,
I've had
you
Akira
can
on the
narrate.
back.
Yep. In fact, you can go ahead and narrate out something cool with that roll.
As I go through, seeing how easily I went through, I turn around and look and see that somehow in my random scattering of this stuff, I left the blatant path that anyone with any type of military training would have just been easily able to walk through. So then I go behind me and rescatter stuff out a little better. That way it won't be so easy to go through next time. And then
Excellent.
I pat Akira on the back.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, and mechanically, what that's going to do for you is the advantage you're going to get out of that is that if people have to pass from one area to another area, the terrain difficulty has just gone up. And if they don't make it, then they just make a whole bunch of noise. So awesome, excellent job. All right, you guys make your way down the hallway. It's very well lit. Every once in a while, the lights will flicker just a little bit, and you see that there is a turbolift right there in front of you.
All right. Is there just a call button outside, or is there an identifier on what floor it's on, or anything like that?
Give me 1 second to take a look at my notes. I thought that I had this area already mapped out in my head, and I don't. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right. You take a look at it, and it appears to only have one level.
Besides this one that it's on?
That is correct.
Okay.
It appears to be working and functioning properly.
All right. Does the level indicate that it's a higher level than this, or a lower level?
It's going to say that it's on a higher level.
Okay. And is the car on this level, or is it up above?
Well, without opening the doors, you're not sure, but you would assume it's probably up.
Okay. Well, guys, only one way, and that's up. I'm going to call the lift.
All right.
I will press the button and then fall back to cover at this corner here. That way, in case any nasties come out, we are prepared, or at least I am.
All right, so
I just draw my blast pistol and just hold it at the door just in case.
All right, so Akira, you are going to go ahead and push the call button, correct?
Elo's going to push the call button and then back off.
And Akiro's like in a combat stance with blaster pistol pointing at the door.
I thought you were a lover, not a fighter.
He's in Mama Bear mode because of Harris.
Okay. In that case, you're standing there right in front of the door, blaster pistol, two-handed, waiting for the doors to pop open. Elo steps forward behind you, hits the call button, and immediately runs around the corner and sort of like puts his blaster up against there, kind of doing the whole James Bond thing. And Ray, I'm assuming you're bringing up the rear.
Yeah. Are they? They are. Is that the door to get situated?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's again, guys, don't get caught up on a map. It's just there for Flav.
I stay back using the back wall for cover down the hall. That way, if something comes out, they can run past me, and I'll be able to shoot behind them as they run.
It seems to make sense to me that there's going to be a couple of doors and stuff around here for offices and stuff of that nature anyway. So,
Okay.
I mean.
Then I'll be in a doorway, for cover, wherever.
All right. Doors are locked. You're in the hall. So there.
Okay.
All right.
Kick down a door. Be a badass.
I'm ready.
The light indicate.
I think that was his belly.
Oh.
Okay. The light on the turbolift begins to change from the upper level, flicks off, and then comes back on, and you hear a ding. The door slowly opens. The light is on inside. It is empty.
I'm going to check and make sure that there's nothing hiding in there.
Okay. Tell me how you go about it then. Narrate it out for me, partner.
I peek my head in, look all around, step in, and like poke the ceiling and poke the ground to see if I hear anything unusual.
Mm-hmm.
And if everything's part of the course, I will signal everyone else to come in.
All right then. Very good. Anybody else doing anything or want to narrate out what they're doing?
I'm providing covering for him from my position in case anything does decide to drop down or pop out of somewhere, like through a wall or something like that, because we don't know where these droids are coming from or how they're getting in. That way I'll be able to take fire on it.
Okay. There doesn't appear to be anything on the lift.
And I'm watching down the hall behind us, make sure nothing sneaks up behind us.
Roger, I gotcha. If you want to, go ahead and make a search roll for me and roll a stamina roll for Harris.
I hate those words.
I hate those. Roll for Harris. You hate those words?
Roll stamina.
He said.
You're going to wake up with hot
Ray.
flashes later on the week.
Yeah, kid, he's going to probably wake up with both man parts and lady parts both.
Bonus.
I mean,
Okay.
it was a reactor after all.
At least it wasn't a complication.
So that's your stamina roll, correct?
No, that's the search.
Searching. All right, excellent. And then if you can, go ahead and roll me a stamina for Harris.
Don't get a complication. I'll end up having to hurt a droid or my hand on a wall.
Complication could turn up being dead for Harris. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a little better.
All right then. So Akira, you're in the turbolift. Everything looks to be a-okay. Elo, Ray, what are you gonna do? And Akira, role play it out for me, please.
All right, guys, it's clear, seemingly. Let's head on in.
All right.
And I just keep looking around because I don't know, I might have missed something.
I'll
Not
make my
like
way on into
actively
the
look around,
turbolift.
just like eyes darting around.
Keeping wary.
Yeah, and I act like I know what I'm doing while I'm watching behind us, even though I really, really don't.
Okay. I need to retcon something out there. It did have 3 floors, and you guys were on the first one, and it came down from the 3rd.
Okay.
All right. So, sorry about that. All right. So everybody gets on the turbo lift. You have a number of floors you can choose. The one that you're on, the 2nd, 3rd. What do you want to do, Akira?
So we're on the first one. It came from the 3rd.
Nope, you're on the 1st, and you haven't decided where you're going to the second or third yet. That's the reason I was asking you, what do you want to do?
I mean, I was
And Ray,
asking.
remember?
You said that the elevator turbo lift came from the third floor, and we are on the first.
That is correct.
Okay, then my suggestion is seeing what was on the third floor.
All right, so you hit the button for the third floor. The door starts to close. It closes. You guys, there's a gentle movement as you guys begin to go up, and you get probably it dings to the second floor, and there is a shutter, and the lift stops. The lights flicker. You hear a distant crashing. You can't tell if the sound is from above or below you. Roll initiative.
I was about to say I draw my blaster anyway.
Oh, nothing can go wrong here. We're in an enclosed space.
Oh, I did hit initiative.
Suspended
correct.
between 2 floors.
Surrounded by how many tons of rock?
What the?
You all should have told me to go to the second floor.
All right, there we go. We have everybody. Boom. All right, Ray. You're the first one to notice this noise and snapping, cracking. What do you do?
Reach over, try to hit the emergency open for the door, or if that's not working, grab the door trying to pull it open.
Okay. Your first reaction is to reach over and hit that emergency door. Nothing happens.
Okay.
You immediately grab a portion of the door and start trying to pull it open. What do you do, Akiro?
So it was still has the doors opened, or is it still just the shutter on the second floor?
Doors have not opened. And Ray tried to hit the emergency opening, emergence open, and it wouldn't open, and immediately went over to start prying the door open with his bare hands.
Yeah, I was gonna try and do that too, actually.
All right, well then that's what I need to hear from you, that Kiro does the same thing. Elo, there's not really enough room for you to do anything else at this time. What do you want to do?
Cheer us on.
That cracking noise we heard, was it coming from above us or below us?
You don't know.
No.
You don't know. If you want to try and take a full round action to ascertain where it might possibly be coming from, you can do that.
That is what I will attempt to do.
All right, I'm going to go back to Ray and Akiro. Who's the strongest of the two of you? Think
Akiro.
probably Ray.
Yeah, I've got a strength 3D plus 1.
Excellent. All right, you guys are working in tandem. Ray, I think you got what, a 2D strength?
Yep.
All right. Akiro, go ahead and roll 3D plus 4 to try and pry that door open.
All right. Awesome.
You rolled a 1. Awesome.
I know. Looks like Ray's gonna be losing some hands on accident.
You got a 10.
Akiro.
Akiro, you have a 10. Are you happy with that roll?
Not entirely.
Ooh.
Boom.
You have some choices. You have a 14. Happy with that roll?
19.
19.
I'm happy with a 19.
All right, go ahead and
Like that.
mark off those points on your sheet and stuff like that. All right, between the two of you, you start pulling it. It just seems like it is definitely opening up a lot harder than you thought it would. Probably going to take you guys at least 2 rounds to pull that door open. Elo, go ahead and roll a search roll for me.
Okie dokie.
If you don't have it, goes to perception. You said you had 4D, right?
I have a 4D sneak. I have a 3D perception.
Well, roll your 3D perception for me, sir. Happy with that roll?
Yep.
Okay. You're not really able to ascertain which direction that noise is coming from, but it is loud.
Okay, well, I will begin to alternate my cover from the ceiling to the floor.
Okay. Sorry, one thing, and then say that again.
Okay.
You sort of get the sound almost sounds like loose power cables in the wind kind of sound. I'm trying to think of something that would sound similar. I think that's kind of what the sound would be like. So what is it you do again?
I alternate my attention, providing cover to the ceiling and floor.
All right, excellent. So you're doing the whole James Bond thing, looking at the ceiling, looking at the floor, looking at the ceiling, looking at the floor. Got it. Excellent. All right, beginning of this turn, Ray and Akiro, you have gotten enough room to, at least one person at a time can get through that door. Akira, Ray, you are the first one to act. What do you want to do?
I brace the door with, to keep it from sliding shut and tell Akira to go.
Okay.
I look at him and say, you know what, you're the scrawnier one. How about I hold it for you?
Great role playing. All right. What are you guys going to do? Who's going through? If anybody.
Is Akira holding the door?
Yeah. I would have
no,
a much better time of it than you, so you
Okay,
go
once I
through it.
see.
Well, right now, Ray, you said you were first in the initiative. You said that that's what you do. You are bracing the door open. If you want to relinquish that bracing and allow him to take over for you, you can. Otherwise, just tell him to shut up and get out.
Nah, if he reaches over and starts bracing it, then I'll roll through the door and get out.
Awesome. Excellent. Elo, what you going to do?
Well, the doorway is still cluttered, so I'm going to continue my guard position.
All right, role play this out, guys.
I'll keep sweeping my view up and down and occasionally looking over to them. Make sure that the first one has made it through, and once
Ray's made it out already, and Akiro is bracing the door open.
Okay. Once he's out, I will squiggle myself through and try and grip the door from the other side and hold it open for Akira to get out.
Okay, sounds good to me. Why don't you go ahead and make a strength roll for me?
Okay. Big strength roll coming online.
Yeah, no bonuses, no anything, just straight strength for me. Maybe that bionic arm will come in handy. Nope, not today. All right, you're doing your best, as you can. You don't have a whole lot of leverage on this side, and stuff like that. So Akira, you're getting ready to exit this thing, and as you begin to step out, the lift lurches. You can hear the cables above it break. You better jump for it, or you're gonna get sliced in two.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump.
Well, then you make a jumping roll
strength?
for me. That'd be under strength. If you don't have climb jump, then it's a strength skill. That was your roll.
I would hope a 19 is good enough.
19, you do, and you just sort of like barrel right into Elo, knocking him to the ground. You guys end up in a heap not too far from Ray. You guys look back over, and all of a sudden it is nothing but that lift is gone. You hear it crash and the scream of metal as it crashes into the bottom of the turbolift well.
I look down to Elo and say, let's take the stairs next time.
I offer a little snort and get myself to my feet and offer my hand up.
Excellent. All right, guys, you are in a I'm going to say that it's a short hallway with a couple of doors off from it. Sort of like you take a quick survey of what you got going on. It looks like it's more offices and stuff of that nature. Maybe a utility closet. You do see a number of droids deactivated in sort of down at the corner. They're in a corner. There's two of them just standing there.
What type of droids are they?
I'm not sure. Why don't you go ahead and narrate out for me? Tell me what you see. Tell me what you guys see.
They look to be the same kind of droids that attacked us earlier.
Nix.
They're maintenance droids. WED repair droids, a couple of R units, a auto chef. Just the stuff that's not normally combat oriented. It all got shoved here by whatever took over.
All right, there'll be about 4 or 5 of those. Nix on the mechanical droids, but yes on say an R2 unit, maybe an RD4.
Some Gomp droids.
That's treasure.
Stuff of that nature. Yeah, auto chef, definitely an auto chef droid is back there as well. So yeah, that's pretty much what you guys see in this This hallway. So this hallway in this area in these offices look as though they were being used for quick storage when whoever abandoned the base left.
Do they look like they were forcibly deactivated, like the med droid was, or does it look like they were just deactivated a while ago and just left here mistakenly?
Why don't you go over there and take a quick look at them, and go ahead and roll a perception roll for me. Not search this time, just perception.
You nixed the repair droids. Does that include the R series, or is it just the WED repairs?
Just the WEDs.
Okay.
Because that would be something they would have left, probably down in the hangar bay area somewhere. And not only that, those are sort of an expensive droid. I don't think they would have left those behind.
Fair.
All right, 12. Happy with that roll?
Sure. For something like
Alright.
this, yeah.
All right. You know what? You can tell, fairly quickly. These droids, from the way that they're sort of like stacked, sort of like in there where they're at and stuff like that. They weren't put here haphazardly or anything like that of that nature. All of these droids have the appearance or that they are sort of in like a shutdown standby mode, just from the way that they're carrying their bodies. They just have a unique way of keeping their balance and stuff like that when they're in shutdown. So you're thinking these were placed here and shut down purposely, but not like the 2-1B droid.
Okay.
Not like the medical droid.
So I'm say we leave them alone and don't activate them.
Sounds good to me.
Well, depending on when we get out of here, we should mark those R series. They might help us with getting the Y-wings out.
Hey,
That's a
Crail,
good
why don't you make a search roll for me, and Harris, give me another stamina roll.
I mean, if nothing else, they'll help with our
You want
astrogation.
Crail to make a search roll?
I sure do.
You got it.
And I'm
Makes
doing the
sense to
same
me.
thing. Same thing for Rito. Okay. All right. And stamina roll, Harris.
There you go. Oop.
Great, now you're
Oh.
dead.
And you want to know what? I rolled a complication for you. Haha.
Harris
Yeah.
talks with a lisp now.
Are you kidding?
Talks.
Harris is a lisp. Harris runs around with a big helmet and a sippy cup now.
Special helmet.
That's worse than him dying. He's gonna be our mentally retarded medic.
Yeah, the other thing is, I mean, his soul may be gone and maybe something else is in its place now. Cthulhu. All
No,
right.
not season 4 Angel.
He's more machine now than man, twisted and evil.
All right, Ray, Akiro, and Elo, you are in this this sort of storage area place. You've got a, open door to the turbolift in front of you, a number of offices, stuff of that nature. What you gonna try and do now?
I say we try and find a stairwell, guys.
Sounds fine to me.
See if we can at least make our way back down, if not make our way up, to check out the upper floor.
Before
Yeah,
we
I
go
like that
down,
idea.
I stick my head back through the door and look up the turbo lift, seeing what I can see up there.
Okay, this time I do need you to make a search roll. Oh, and I need you to roll just a plain 1d6 for Harris.
Okay, here's my search roll
Don't you
first.
dare roll a 1.
For the search or for Harris?
Okay. You look up, and probably about a good 20 meters up, you see the top of the turbo lift. You see normally turbo lifts are a repulsor operated thing with sometimes they have cabling for safety, sometimes they have quick release brakes on them. This looks like it was one that was used with cabling. You see up at the top, you see sort of 4 or 5 of the cables, sort of like spinning, wiggling in the air. The ends of them, obviously, they're glowing sort of an orange, cooling to a red, and
Okay.
that is what you see.
Do I see an access panel open from there, or could where they were cut be reached from the third floor's doorway?
All right, I'm not quite sure I understand. Try say it again, but say it a different way.
Okay, I'm looking up to see. I'm making an assumption. Robots cut the cabling. Did
Okay.
they open up an access hatch from the very top of the turbo lift and cut it from there, or did they open up the third floor door and cut the cabling there at the third floor door?
That is a really good question to which I don't think you can realistically get an answer to just from like looking. Now, is there another door up there for a turbo lift? Yes, there is. Is a door open up there? No. Is there sort of a catwalk area up there towards the top? Yes, there is.
Okay, I'm gonna assume they were on
Because
the
because
catwalk,
that's
but
what.
can't prove it.
Right there you go. I mean that's a good inference, but it's not something I can I can't as a game master go. Yeah, that's what happened.
Make a cognitive leap. It may be wrong. Hey
You're
guys,
gonna,
it looks
you're
like
gonna
they
jump.
were up
All
on
right,
the
make a jump roll for me. Cognitive leap,
Huh?
right? You're making a cognitive leap, right? So roll your jumping skill. No, just kidding.
Look before you leap.
Mm-hmm. And if you're my cadets, you would have failed it horribly.
All right, so that is what you see. Share with the other people as you'd like.
Hey, I think they were on the catwalk up there. I can't see the repulsor lift door to the third floor being opened, and it looks like the cables were cut about where the catwalk is. So I don't know if they're on the third floor or not, but they're definitely up in the maintenance infrastructure or above everything.
I guess to the third floor we go.
Well, off and to it. They apparently want us dead still.
Yeah. I just don't understand why can't we all just get along? Why can't we just be the Rodney King of the Star Wars universe? Why can't we
Why
just?
can't we be friends? Why can't we be
So,
friends?
you guys look into the repulsor lift area. There is a maintenance ladder that you could crawl up if you'd like to try.
Well, there's no stairwell going up.
Nope, not from here. Not the one that you see, anyways.
Awesome.
Can I remember from the map that we had pulled up for the maintenance stuff if there was a stairwell, or was the map not that detailed?
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it mostly like conduit work, and it was more of an electrical map, wasn't it, as opposed to an actual full-on map? Does anybody remember?
That was correct.
Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it would give you like rudimentary, dimensions and space and stuff like that, but I don't know. It might list it on there. Did you bring? Who's got the data pad? Who had it last?
I'd never had my hands on that data pad.
It was
That
probably
was
Ray.
for
Ray,
the
you
map.
probably actually have the data pad because that sounds
Okay.
like a West. That sounds like a West move.
He was the
Okay.
one that pulled it up in the first place.
Yeah. So I'm going to say you still have it on your person. You take a
Okay.
little bit of time, look at it, and you are a bit surprised. It looks as though there are a number of things in this base that appear to be missing, never installed. Definitely would not meet OSHA specs. This happens to be one of them.
Yeah, guys, there's no stairs. The only way up is either the repulsor lift that just fell, or up that ladder.
Ladder it is then. I'll
All right.
stay at the bottom to make sure I can catch in case someone falls or something.
So you can catch your buddy Elo.
Yep.
Well, the other problem is If the droids are still up there, they may open fire on us.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I could walk up to the edge of that ladder, shoot up there, and if anything comes over and shoots at us, well, no.
But they might think we're dead in that pile of rubble down below, so a shooting would alert them.
It was just a suggestion.
Hey, Krail, you
Yes, sir.
see that the 21B droid, while you're sitting there watching everything going on, you see that it's starting to have a bit of a tremble in its right arm, and you start taking a closer look at it, and it looks as though there may be a cascade effect taking place that may take out the breakers.
Ah, gotcha. Man, is it something that can be swapped out on the fly?
You're not sure. You might want to go off and find another a second one.
Yeah, I'll go out there and check my pile.
All right, you head on out there. There's a number of pieces out in the main hall there, as well as down at the end of the hallway where Rito's at. So, I mean, you kind of search around a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and make a tech, make a droid plus 5. I'm sorry, droid plus 2? You have 5D, right?
Correct.
All right, just roll 5D for me then.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you easily find one that's still in actual good repair. You pry the back cover off, turn the little butterfly nuts to the side, and yank it out. So you've got a spare if you need to.
Sweet. I'll bring it back in.
Excellent. All right, back to you guys. What do you guys plan on doing then with the repulsor lift shaft?
Sounds like it's going to be a sneaky climb.
You guys are, well, all right, you're going to try and climb sneakily is what you're saying, correct?
Well, it's better than firing randomly up there and the chance that they might return fire on us, you know.
All right, you'll be at minus 1D to both of your rolls. And who's first?
I'll go first. That way, if I fall, you guys can learn from my mistakes.
Excellent. All right,
Well, I
then.
planned on being last time so I could catch you if you fell.
What I need from you then, and I don't care in what order you give them to me, I need a stealth roll. If you don't have it, it defaults to perception. And then I need a climbing roll, and if you don't have climbing, then it defaults to strength.
All right, we'll go with the strength roll first.
Awesome.
And I'll spend a character point.
Are you sure?
Your character point's been so awful today.
They have been.
They hate me.
They have been really, really bad. All right, you got a 5.
I was adjusting my character. Well, you moved him away from me.
No, I'm sorry. Akira
You
was
want to do another character point?
Okay. You lever yourself out, and that is your stealthy like roll. Excellent. All right, so you make your way on up. Who's next? And do the same thing for me. Remember that you're going to be at minus 1D to both your rolls. Well, actually, I think Akira said that he was going to be bringing up the rear. So Ray,
Yeah.
Again, I don't care what order, but I do need a stealth roll, and I do need a climbing roll.
Okay, stealth first, because that one I actually have a chance at.
I always thought stealth was perception, but I guess it's dexterity.
Stealth is?
Yeah, I thought it was perception.
I thought it was too. It's not. Stealth is a dex skill?
No, I was asking that. Never mind.
Sneak is perception.
Okay.
Right. All right, so your first one was sneak, and your second is a 7. You're fine. Harris, you lever yourself out there, and you're heading on up. Ray, you're next. I'm sorry, Akira, you're next, and that was Ray who got himself out there.
All right, my 2D plus 1 for the strength to actually climb. Yay!
All right, so you lever yourself out there. These guys are in front of you.
All right. And my perception roll for sneak shall be 3. Woohoo!
Wow, you're just crushing it tonight.
Yay!
All right, I'm reading ahead here. All right, you guys make your way up there. Elo, you're in the lead, so narrate out what you're doing, and please describe what you're seeing in here.
Well, I'm actually going to be. I'm quietly climbing my way up. My blaster is slung in its holster. I am bypassing the actual hatchway to the third floor
Okay,
and climbing on up towards the catwalk area.
scaffolding catwalk, got it.
And I'm actually going to dismount on that narrowish rail up there. It does have a handhold because this isn't an Imperial facility.
Okay.
So they don't
Question
worry.
for you: does the catwalk have guardrails on it?
It has one guardrail on it, so you
All
can
right.
hold on to it or tie off to it.
All right. So like about waist height.
Yeah.
Is it kind of crunchy for space up here too, or not?
It's kind of tied up here. You said there's the cabling that got severed, so there's going to be a cabling drive system up here.
Excellent.
So, you have to crouch down a little bit. You got maybe 1 meter and 2/3 clearance.
Excellent. All right.
It's kind of grungy from disuse, but you can definitely see the footprints of at least one droid making its way out here.
Absolutely. Excellent description. Is there an exit up here?
Yes, there is a service exit to get into a crawl space.
Excellent. All right, guys. Excellent narration. Give yourself character point. And that is what you guys see.
All of us a character point?
All of you. No. Just Elo for the really great narration and description.
Woohoo!
Hopefully it gets you more than a 1 next time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'd really love to get one that's not a 1 or a 2.
I'm sorry. All I hear is.
Somebody call the ambulance.
You know what? That was actually a really good movie, and that was probably the best line out of the entire movie. The Kid. Anybody seen it?
A long time ago, yes.
Yeah, long
You're
time.
fucking old.
All right, guys. So you're up here. What are you guys going to do next?
Through that hatchway into the crawl space.
Excellent. You're in a crawl space, Elo, and it's dirty in here.
That's okay. I've dealt with dirt before.
Yep, but I just want to make sure that we're clear. I mean, everything gets smudged and dirty on the elbows and knees, and that sort of thing. So you're making your way through this area, and you get up to a grate-like area.
Okay.
And go ahead.
Does the trail of our assailant lead to this grate as well, or does it go on beyond it?
You know what? Go ahead and make a search roll.
So perception is what you're saying.
Yeah, why don't you make a perception roll for me? Okay. You know what? You found the tracks at the very beginning, and with all the crawling and moving around stuff like that, you really you don't really have time to you don't see anything. Nothing that jumps out at you.
Okay.
All right, so.
Is the hallway, or what's underneath the grate? I mean, can we see through it, or can I see through it?
I'm actually going to say that this is a grate that is immediately to, like, say, your right. It would be it'd be like in the middle of a wall kind of grate, not over a room.
Okay.
And you look through the lattice work of it, and what you see is a large round room. There are a number of computer terminals in here. There's a lot of conduit work and hanging wires and stuff like that coming out of the ceiling. Think of remember the freezing room on Cloud City? How they had a bunch of that stuff hanging out of the ceiling kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Or think of like the first Alien movie where they had a lot of stuff out of the ceiling. Think it's like that.
All right.
Okay.
Does this look like a official installation, or does this look like jabbered together, basically.
This looks like an official area. Like there's something here worthy, and you also see, as you're sort of like looking, and you hear something immediately outside and to your right, and before you can even stop yourself, you immediately sort of like draw in a very quick breath and lean back, almost like I'm going to try and hide. It's just a natural reaction.
Uh-huh.
And you see a shadow cross in front of the grate and continue from right to left. You take a real quick look, and you see that it's an ASP7.
Okay. Do I only hear one pair of footsteps, or are there others that I hear as well?
If you want to take time to listen and stuff like that, you certainly can. Or it may be easier just to look. But you just got off guard is what happened on that.
Well, with my right hand, I will motion to the people behind me. Like I'll push my hand down towards the ground, like quiet down, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I will try and listen rather than trying to stick my head out of the grate and possibly get chopped off or blown off.
All right.
Huh.
All of a sudden, it's Pathfinder and you're a rogue.
No.
You're an elf and you listen at the door.
Hey, my character is trained
dice.
at sneak.
I'm just teasing you. I don't really care.
No, it's okay.
Um,
My character had some street fighting experience.
If you're going to be just kind of using your listen and stuff like that, go ahead. This is going to be a straight perception roll. And because you're only trying to use one sense, just so you know, the difficulty is going to be up there. So go ahead and roll it for me.
Well, there you go.
A 7 is not up there.
You know what? What happens is an air exchange thing clicks on, starts thrumming, and it just drowns out your ability to listen to anything in the room.
Okay. Well, this grating, is it dogged down in any way that I can see, or is it like on a hinge along the top or something like that? Or
It's got like a hinge along the left side, with like a magnetic thing along the side so that you can push the door open, or it has like little wing nuts up on the top. It's made for easy entrance and entering and exiting.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a military. Well, I mean, it's not like a prison or anything like that. So.
Well, I will try and quietly open the vent.
Okay.
And slip out.
Excellent. All right. So why don't you go ahead and make a sneak roll for me?
I can do that.
All right. And give me 1 second after that.
And I'm good with that.
What, you don't want a 16?
Yeah, I'm gonna save those character points for when I get shot.
Oh, it doesn't happen that often in Dawn's games.
All right, guys, I'm back. So you rolled a 15, which you feel like you're being fairly sneaky, and you make your way out and sort of move to some cover behind a computer panel.
Okay.
All right, Ray, what are you doing? You see Ray Elo just kind of like motions to you, like to get down. That's the only thing I can think of. When I see someone that's like pushing their hand down, that usually to me means take cover, and then he pushes open the grate and like leaves.
Slips out.
I would have been confused by that hand signal, just so you know, Elo.
It's okay. I'm not combat trained as a character.
Yeah, and that's fine, and that's what we're going with. So.
And I've got to stop thinking of Ray being my character, so I'd look around confused and go up to the edge, look around, and then hop out.
Okay, well, you very quickly see an ASP-7 droid on the far end of this room. Now, this is a circular room, or it's probably close to 20 30 meters across. There's probably about 5 or 6 computer stations. It's not very well lit. You see the turbolift door immediately to the right of your exit where you've left. There's probably a couple of doors in the walls. On the far opposite side of where you guys are at, you do see a airlock. I mean, it's a cycling airlock door. It's obvious that there's an airlock on the other side, and it's basically for humans, not for ships. So you definitely know that door probably leads to the outside. So you exit out, and you're attempting to be sneaky.
Yeah. After
All
I
right.
hop down and see the droid, then I get all panicky and try to be sneaky and try to
Right.
hide.
Excellent, sneaky for me then. Roll it.
Let me see what I.
Hey, Krail.
What?
That
Yes, sir.
arm on that droid is shaking quite a bit more. You start to smell sort of an ozone sweet smell. You see a little bit of smoke coming out of the back of that droid.
Gotcha. I've got minutes left, or it's time.
You're not sure, man. You gotta figure it out. What are you gonna do?
I'll try to go for the swap before it pops.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and make that roll for me then? This will be droid repair with no bonuses.
Okay. And I'll be telling the droid what's going on.
Just so you know, Ray, you will lose your highest die in your wild on that, so you've got a 7.
Okay.
That's up to you if you want to spend character points on it or not. I'll leave it up to you.
I'll leave that as it is.
All right, Krail, how you feeling about that roll?
I like it.
All right, excellent. All right then. You reach in there and it's warm to the touch. You go in there, you try and slip it out real quick and back in. The droid's eyes flicker a little bit. Its head swivels around at you. What are you doing? And then it kind of goes. Brrr. You switch out the buffer and it immediately comes right back up. What are you doing?
Are you
Why
feeling
are you
better?
doing that? I wasn't feeling bad in the beginning. I'm a medical droid. I'm supposed to be working on people, not people working on me. And it just kind of goes back into working on Harris, who needs to make another stamina roll.
And I'll engage him in the conversation of how operating outside your parameters with the help of a human achieves a lot more than basic programming.
Yes. Have you ever seen the movie Tron? We should work together.
See?
Have you ever played the game System
I am your
Shock 2?
doctor.
This is why I don't trust you.
You are my doctor. I am your doctor.
All right. So need a roll for Harris, stamina,
Yeah, I'm good.
and then I need
roll.
Akira. Yep, and Akira needs to narrate out what he's going to do. Ugh, that's a crappy roll, Harris.
God damn it. Stop trying to kill yourself. Alright, so Elo and Ray have both snuck through this little door thingy.
Uh-huh.
Well, I see no reason why I shouldn't follow suit.
All right, then. You make your way out, and not very far from you at all, on the opposite side of this room, there appears to be a long hallway that you can only see, like, just the entrance of it. It's probably about 3 to 4 meters wide and probably about 2 meters high. Towards the back of this room. That's where the ASP-7 droid is standing right in front of that. Go ahead and make.
Moving? Does it seem active?
Well, you're trying to attempt to go find cover and be stealthy, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so roll that for me. All right, you are extremely stealthy. You do it quite well. From your position, you actually have a really good look at the ASP-7 droid, and I'm going to go ahead and give that to you as just sort of a bonus for rolling as well as you did. You notice that this ASP-7, it's pretty much like all the other ones that you've seen, except this one has a blaster rifle attached and integrated to one of its arms. as opposed
All
to a pistol or a carbine or anything like that.
This droid needs to go down.
Okay. All right. So as you guys are all standing around, I'm sorry, at different points of cover and stuff of that nature, the droid turns around, looks as though it's going to head towards where the turbo lift area is. And who was the one that got the crappiest one? I think it was
Me.
It was Harris. Yep. It was. I'm sorry. It was Ray. Ray, you're sort of like, stuck. You were trying to get behind a computer terminal, and you thought you could push the chair out of the way, and it turned out that the chair was actually connected to the floor, and you're just kind of like, kind of caught, and you're just like, okay, maybe I'll just will myself invisible. I will myself invisible. The ASP droid sort of like scans the room, looks at you, sees you, immediately draws its weapon to shoot at you. What do? Levels its blaster
Jump
rifle
behind
at
cover.
you. All right.
Jump behind
So
cover.
you're gonna attempt to dodge. All right. So roll your dodge for me, sir.
Give me 1 second. Let me see what it is.
No, I don't want to give you a second. I want you to suck it up. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you basically a free move into cover for half cover, which is going to give you a 2D bonus. Did you use your macro for cover?
For cover, huh?
Oh, okay.
I don't see one for cover.
Well, there should be one there for dodge, right?
Oh, okay, I see it now. Okay.
So I mean, normally what you would do is just roll the dodge skill, and then like you said, you just put in your dodge, and then whatever you get for like environmental and stuff like that. In this case, under dice pool, just roll me 2D, and that'll be your cover modifier. All right, so you have a 16 for it to hit you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if it's gonna hit you, sir. It's gonna be that much. No, but it hits the panel right in front of you, just showering sparks and semi-blinding you for a second. It rolled really, really well. If you didn't have that cover modifier, it probably would have gotten you. All right, everybody roll initiative for me, please.
Guys, he's seen me.
Yeah, triple poopy.
Son of a Sarlacc, he saw me!
Son of a bitch, he says.
I said son of a Sarlacc, I kept it within universe.
Okay, so Elo, you are going to be going first, sir. Actually, it's Ray. I take that back.
Yeah.
Ray, you rolled really, really well. What do you do, sir?
Now that I'm behind cover, I get out my blaster, and can I get a shot off, or?
Sure. To draw that weapon out, seeing as it wasn't already prepared, you'll have a blaster skill of -1D, and you can snap off a shot at him. So you declare one action shooting from cover,
Yep.
correct? Excellent.
Yep.
So roll your blaster skill at -1D.
Let me see. Okay.
Do it now. God damn it, Les. Now. Like you be telling your recruits, I don't give a shit. I want it done now.
Hesitation is not an option.
Hesitation is not an option. Why are you not doing? Why am I still speaking? I would be an awesome drill instructor. All right. 10. Happy with that roll?
For right now, yeah.
Spend the character point. Spend the character point.
If the GM tells you to do it, you should do it.
Spend the character point so that we can have something cool happen. All right, Bucket. I'm not going to... Yep. Make sure you mark that off. All right. You hit him in the chest. It sort of goes back one step. Unlike the other droids that you've run across, this one almost looks like it's like kind of like stops, and like if it was like a human being, you would think it was almost like, stretching out its neck a little bit, popping the vertebrae, and sort of like hunkering down a little bit, like it's ready to get it on. All right, Elo.
I hunker down more.
Elo, you see this.
All
What do you
right.
do?
The cover that I've got, is that actually going to be useful against this creature, or am I...
I'll give you 1/4 cover. I'll give you 1D.
Okay. Well, I will hold my position then and declare 2 actions.
Okay, your first action then.
We're firing.
All right, go ahead and make your skill roll at minus 1D then. And you're having a lovely conversation with the 2-1B droid, by the way, Krail.
And I'm going to spend a character point.
Fabulous.
That was a great roll. 17. You do hit the asp. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Yay!
Believe it or not, that is going to be sufficient. You see it sort of like the first blaster bolt just kind of like pops off the top of its domed head there, and just like shoots off into the ceiling. A bunch of sparks fly off. It stops, looks at you, and it's got its arm kind of like pointing towards where Ray is. And after it's noticed that you've shot at it, you see it sort of like look at you and like kind of like cock its head to the side a little bit, and the arm swings around towards you, and it shoots at you. So, are you wanting to dodge or just trust the range and cover?
My second action, I will actually go to... I will...
You'll burn your last action and go for dodge.
I'm going to
All
shrink up behind the cover a bit more.
Excellent. All right. In that case, you will not have a second action, but you'll roll your dodge at minus 1D instead of a minus 2D for a reactive, and you won't have a second action. So go ahead and roll the dodge and make sure you add in an extra 1D for the 1/4 cover. That is a fantastic roll. So let us see what happened. It doesn't hit you. It hits the panel. In fact, it completely misses. Completely misses you. Doesn't even hit your cover. Akiro, what are you doing?
I'm going to declare 2 actions. One of them is going to be shooting this fucker.
All right, then. Go ahead and make your blaster skill roll at minus 1D, please. Feeling bad. Andy's not getting no love tonight.
Woohoo!
Yeah, me
That's
too, a little bit.
point.
Well, first of all, you have a 8, and with that character point, you have a 15. You happy with that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, go ahead and roll your damage.
Which is 5D, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Good shot.
That is a lot of damage. All right. You hit it in the far arm. It spins a little bit. I'm gonna just, you know what? You like shoot off like 3 shots at it. Just okay, because no one just shoots off 1 shot in Star Wars. So narratively, you send a couple of shots over there, bounces off of him. He sort of steps back, and you sort of press him backwards. He stumbles a little bit, and he seems to fall into the hallway that's around you. Okay, basically the bouncer bolt slams into the ASP's chest, and it starts to backpedal into what looks like a long, upwardly sloping maintenance shaft. And from your position, you see that the ASP is struggling to stand, but then a blinding flash of light fills the entire corridor. You can make out several blue lightning arcs arcing through the entire corridor. You can feel the electricity making the hair on your arms stand up. And when the blast is over and your eyes are clear from the flash blinding, there is nothing left of the SP, and all you smell is something like burnt ozone.
Let's not go out in that hall.
I just look over them and say, yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'd rather not get vaporized myself.
Either that hallway is protecting something important that we need to get to, or that's part of the reactor in some way.
Tell you what, I'll go head over that way, give myself a vantage point, and if I'm dead, you'll know.
Well, don't actually enter it.
Look and
I
see
didn't
if there's
plan
any
on it.
nodules on the walls or anything like that, or something that helps identify it.
All right, I start heading that way. I'm gonna stop at a vantage point so I can see, hopefully, see what's in there without being turned into dust.
And while he's doing that, I'm going to get a better case of this room with
Okay.
all of the bits and pieces hanging, the monitors and whatnot, to try and figure out what this room's about.
Alrighty. Hold on one sec. Crap. One second, guys.
Okay.
This will be a good. You know what? This will be a good time. If you guys need to buy out or grab something to drink, let's do that right now.
Okay.
And I'll be
Okay.
right back.
Ta-da.
Alrighty. I'm back. Is everybody else back?
I'm here.
I think so.
I'm here.
Awesome. I need that, man. My back teeth were having motorboat races. I needed that. All right then. What are you guys doing? You three up there in this area again. Elo, you were going to go around looking at terminals. I believe Erkuro, you were going to try and look down this hall.
Yeah, not actually going into the hallway,
Right.
but
Right.
just checking it out.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the terminals too, doing the computer thing if I can get to a computer working.
Excellent. All right then. If you go to the next level down, this will be kind of what you would see, Akiro.
Where at?
Scroll down.
Okay, so the lights to the door?
You see down this long hallway, it is probably about, it's over 100 meters long. All right.
I know it's a Republic door.
All right. And on the far end of that, you see a well-lit blast door.
I'm gonna look around and see what it was that would have turned that droid into.
I'm sorry, spit the dick out again? What was that?
I'm gonna look around and see if I can find what turned the droid into dead.
All right.
Perception.
Yeah, let's do a perception roll for that. Heading on back to Elo while you're doing that. 13. Just basically taking a look at that, Akira, you're really unsure, man. There is a lot of conduit work down here. You know, a tall human being could walk down here without bumping his head. But you are really unsure. I mean, there's like I said, there's a lot of open conduit work and stuff of that nature down that hall. Elo, what was you trying to do again?
I'm trying to figure out what this room is about. Is it a control room of some sort, that sort of thing? Trying to figure out what the terminals are about, the wiring, all that type of crap.
All right, why don't you go ahead and give me a tech roll, and that's going to take you a while to ascertain. Moving on to Ray. What are you doing, sir?
Is there any of these terminals that are operational?
Yes.
Hop on one.
All of
Okay.
them are operational.
Trying to figure out what they do, what they control, and what info I can get from them.
Elo, you're going to have a roll of a total of 8, just FYI.
Okay.
All right, again, real quick, Ray, what was that again?
Hop on the first closest terminal.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can, what it controls, what I can get information from it, that kind of stuff.
All right, excellent. Elo, going through stuff and that stuff of that nature. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on in here. There seems to be just like some standard computer terminals. Some look like they're dedicated environmental controls. Some look like they may be, weapons controls, possibly. Say there's probably 3 stations in here.
Okay.
Ray, you're sitting at one of them. Why don't you go ahead and start off by making just a computer roll for me? Just so you can just kind of like turn it on, gain access.
Turn it on, get it, blah, blah, blah. Give me a second.
No, goddammit, you didn't know you were going to do this. You said you were going to sit at the computer. You weren't ready.
He's not my character, okay?
It's not my character. 17 is sufficient. You are able to pull up a computer terminal in front of you. This one is a... I'm going to say this is an information terminal. At least that's what access you have to it at this time. You could dig deeper if you want to try, if there's something specific you're looking for.
Yeah, information. I start looking back through logs. Why, if I can put 2 and 2 together, why was the station abandoned? What,
Okay, excellent. All right, go ahead and make another. You're gonna have to make 2 rolls for me at -1D. I need you to make a computer roll for me, followed by a security roll. Head down back to Akira. Akira, you're looking down that hallway, and you're just not real sure. It's not very well lit. You can't really see things very well.
Mm.
That was your computer roll?
Yep.
All right.
And security. Okay, so.
Yeah, yep, you're back in rare form. You're gonna lose your highest, so you rolled a let's see, that's a -6 is a 7. On your security. So leave that up to you, whatever you want to do. Spend a character point. You got a 10?
Yep.
Alright, happy with that?
Gonna have to be. I don't want to burn all my.
I want to save at least 5 points so that when I get shot that one time.
Mm-hmm. Because
All
I
right.
have a 2 strength and won't survive getting shot.
All right, Elo. I've kind of described a little bit of what you see. What else you doing? Add to the narrative for me, please.
All right. You said that there looked like there might be some weapon terminals here.
Maybe, yeah.
And environmental controls, and what was the third one?
Just like information terminals, stuff of that nature. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't have it mapped out what they do.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. From what I can figure out from the weapons control terminals, it looks like it was set on a auto defense type thing. And from the information terminals, it looked like that droid, or whoever that droid's master was trying to track our position and keep an eye on us.
Okay.
So he could move in his forces to take us out, the ASPs.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if you can ascertain all of that from what you see there, but yes, I definitely agree that one of those terminals is definitely set for auto defense on the two emplacements that are outside.
Okay.
All right. Which is kind of odd because if the entire base, and I'll give this one to you as a freebie, if the entire base was powered down, how is this running?
Yeah.
And I'm going to break from you and go to Akiro. All right, Akiro.
Yeah.
I just yell back to them, yeah, there's a long tunnel and a door, but I don't see what vaporized our droid friend, so I don't know if we should go down here.
All right then, guys, narrate it out for me. What are you guys doing, and what do you see, and how are you interacting?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out the computer consoles since you said it was going to take some time
Mhm.
for this whole process.
I mean, you pretty much, yeah, you've added to it. I mean, unless there's something specific you're trying to do.
Well, I am actually curious about how those batteries were powered. So I'm going to try and dig into the weapons control terminal a bit more and see if there's a backup power source for it or anything like that.
All
Or
right,
if it's
so
like-
you're looking for the. All right, so you're not trying to figure out about programming. You're trying to figure out mechanically
Yes.
why this terminal. Okay, so you're like tracking conduit and wire, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you have a bit of an epiphany that what doesn't Ray have a data pad that's got like all the wiring schematics and stuff like that, for different levels and stuff like that.
Why,
Maybe,
yes, he does.
maybe that might help you out.
I'll yell over to him. Hey, Ray, you still got that data pad?
Of course. I don't leave it anywhere.
Pass it over here. I want to take a look at something.
You're not going to mess it up, are you?
Quite possibly.
No, I'm not going to
Ray's
mess it up.
focus Towards our shot.
I want to know if there's a second power source for this facility. Because the guns were online when the reactor wasn't.
I blink at him a couple times and then slide it over slowly.
And I'll start looking through it and cross-referencing with what I can see in the weapons control terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't
And
delete
perhaps
anything.
I think we may need to maybe I didn't explain something well enough. The reactor was never offline.
Well, that's fine.
It was
properly.
correct. There were certain things on it that were shunted and disconnected and hard faulted out, but the reactor itself was never truly offline.
That's fine. I chalk it up to sleep deprivation at this point.
Excellent. Yep, you guys have been here for a while, and you're getting little crusties at the corners of your eyes, so that's awesome. All right, so you go over and you get it from him, and you start taking a look at it and start tracking back wiring and stuff like that, taking a little closer look at it and stuff of that nature. All right, back to you, Ray. What are you trying to do, sir?
Again, like I said, I'm looking for something that, why was this base originally abandoned?
All right. And your security roll was a 10?
Yep.
All right. You're able to find very quickly, as you're pouring through this thing, you're seeing that there are huge directories. I'm sorry, there's a bunch of directory and trees and stuff like that that just have nothing in them. Nothing in them at all, as though entire sections have been selectively wiped.
Do I think I could, recreate it? Because nothing is ever deleted whenever you hit delete. It's
If
still,
you had the time and proper software and understanding of this specific small network, you might be able to, yes.
I don't.
As you say, nothing is ever really ever erased unless you write over it like several times.
Mhm. Next, I switched to pulling up commo logs. Maybe they weren't that thorough and left hints in commo logs. Okay, we received this radio call from wherever, and anything like that.
All right, same two rolls as before at the same negative. Back to you, Elo. Go ahead and make a just a straight tech roll at plus 1d for using the wire diagrams and stuff like that from the data pad.
There
Okay,
you go.
that is a great roll. It's almost a spectacular success, so I'm going to go ahead and let you add something to this. But essentially, there is no second power supply.
Okay. There isn't a second power supply, but I do find a section that doesn't quite make sense.
Okay.
There's a group of power leads leading into a area that doesn't look like there's a room there.
Excellent. And is that somewhere that's nearby? Is that off from this area here? Another portion of the base? Is it outside? Is
It's
it
back
connected to the
down on the
landing bay?
second. It's back down on the second floor, off of the room that had the droids stored in it.
Excellent. All right. Fantastic. Back to Les. Les, that is a great. I'm assuming the first one was a computer roll. The second one was a security. I'm sorry, computer then security, right?
Correct.
All right. You find out some additional information while tooling through the areas. You are getting date and timestamps off of directories, even though there's no files in them. You're able to go off and look at the extended information on those and sort of get a bit of a date. Last time modified, when created, stuff of that nature.
Mhm.
All right. With your security role, that is a really decent security role, but there are no comm recordings, no incoming, no outgoing related. But the information you do ascertain is that a lot of these file directories and stuff of that nature were created close to 7 years ago over a period of time. I mean, that seems when the majority of them were made was over a several month period starting 7 years ago. Last modified is coming back at about 6.5 years ago.
So there's a 6-month window of everyone left, then something started happening 6 months after that to.
Well,
Yeah.
what you get from that is that when when these computer directories and stuff like that were set up, they were set up approximately 7 years ago. When they were wiped and modified was approximately 6 months after that. That's what you get. As for actual who deleted these and for what purpose, you don't know.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, Akiro.
After I told him about me being unsure about the hallway, I guess I'll just walk on over to Elo and see if there's anything I could do that'd be useful.
Okay. Well, he's currently in love with this data pad. This is like the most fascinating thing he's looked at in a long time. I mean, it's just right in his wheelhouse, his knowledge wheelhouse. I need another perception check off from Andy. I'm sorry, off of Krail. And you know what that means, don't you, Harris?
Yep.
No, I have no idea. I can't hear you. Say again.
Yeah, all I hear is wah 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 wah.
Yeah, that's what I hear too. Yeah, huh? Did you say something?
Yeah, I said roll stamina or die.
And
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and
and
or.
die. Okay, and I need you to roll a single d6 for me too. No.
Me?
No, Harris.
Single D6 also?
Yep.
Okay.
Just something above and beyond. Yep. All right. Excellent. All right. And I'm not going to tell you what you rolled. So,
I rolled a
Elo.
5.
I was just saying something to Akiro. Tap on the data pad and point out the location to him. What do you think?
well, I guess I could go check it out.
Well, I'd say that's a pretty good idea. I'd say, well, be careful. You know, we don't know what's going to be behind there,
Mhm.
wherever there is.
Well, I do have no
Um,
intention of dying anytime soon.
That's a good
Ray, I actually need you to make one additional roll for me real quick. And I'm trying to remember what it is for.
Keep
Search
the
I did.
comm open.
Actually, just
I
a
will.
straight perception roll for me at a plus. I'm looking at your character sheet. I want a +3 on that. So perception at +3, please. Oh, that is fan-freaking-tastic. Are you happy with that roll?
Yep.
Okay. Harris, you notice that there is a subroutine running in the background, and it looks as though it's masquerading as a timed garbage compactor routine. Take a closer look at it.
Definitely.
All right. Go ahead and make a computer programming roll for me. No negatives, no bonuses. That is a fantastic roll.
Nice.
Ray, you notice that this subroutine is tied to a number of electrical relays, and you have a whole series of them, and the numbers and the letters that point to their specific spots all appear to be linear.
Can I tell, where at? You know,
If you had maybe a wire schematic or an electrical conduit blueprint for the base, you might be able to.
hey, give me my data pad back.
Immediately, get it! Give me!
Give me. I'm
I
staying
will
ready.
pass it back to him.
All right.
And I lay one beside the other and looking back and forth. And
I'm not even going to make you roll for this because this is a pretty easy thing to figure out. Yes, you can find out exactly where those relays are. And all of those relays are all along this tunnel.
can I
leading
tell?
up to the command and control area.
Can I tell where the control to this little background program is being ran from, or is it just
You could
on
maybe
its
make
own?
you could maybe make a security roll and see if you can backtrack it, but it's going to be pretty difficult.
Well, security 5D. This character is so not me.
Huh?
Okay.
All right,
And-
and Krail, while you were sitting down there, I'm sorry, don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, that's okay.
That was your computer roll was 12.
Security.
Security. Okay, so 13
plus
is
3, so
okay. You know what? It's a valiant effort. You think you're on the right track, and you just come up against a wall. It was a false lead. So
Hey.
you're not able to ascertain that, but you think that you might be able to maybe take control of this and maybe shut down power to those relays.
Okay.
At that point, Krail,
Yes, sir.
you're sitting there just kind of watching the droid and stuff like that, and you see Rito come walking in the room, blaster in on his hip, and
Casual.
yep, kind of casual. Walks up to you, Guta Guta. How's Harris doing? Guta Guta. And he hands you a universal white styrofoam cup with calf in it.
Nice.
Because I don't care what universe you're in, coffee just tastes better in that white styrofoam cup. Okay, no, it doesn't. It tastes like fucking
Yeah.
styrofoam. But no one.
Keeps it on long enough to get in my stomach.
Long enough to get in your stomach. So he comes in, asks you, how's Harris doing? Guta Guta.
Well, his body will live through it, but we'll see what the rest is.
You see sort of a rare thing out of Rito. You see him kind of like, he's drinking his calf, and you see him kind of like staring over the top of it, bit of steam wafting off from it. You see him sort of like walk over and stand in front of the bacta tank, watching Harris for a minute. And you think you might hear him mumble something, and Harris has another convulsion, dirties his water, of course, and this seems to have an interesting effect on Rito. It almost seems like he gets angry, and you see him turn around, and he walks over to a cabinet and basically just puts his fist right through it. Smash!
I told him, no, man, he heard you. He fucking heard you.
Guta Guta. You think? Guta Guta.
He's trying to get out of there as much as we're trying to get him out of there.
You know what? Give yourself a character point for some really awesome roleplay.
Oosh.
And I'd probably give one to Rito too, but he's an NPC, so fuck him. All right then. Basically right now, I mean, it's sort of unique. I mean, you don't really think that you've ever seen Rito sort of vulnerable like that. Where I mean, he's more of a fly by the seat of his pants kind of sentient. You sort of get the feeling like a lot of things don't affect Rito. That Rito's immediately in the moment. That wherever the party's at, that's where he'd prefer to be.
He seems a little more solo than he has been lately.
Yeah, just a little bit. All right, back to you guys up there. All right, Ray, what you doing?
Hey, Elo, I need help on this. I think I figured out how to control whatever's, the electroshock stuff out in the hallway, but I can't figure out the background, where it's coming from. Do you think you can look at it? But
Yeah.
first, has Akira gone out in that hall?
Nah, no, he hasn't left yet.
Okay. Don't go out there until we finish looking at this. And I start trying, first off, just shutting down the, what I think will cause the shocks.
And what we're gonna do is we want you to put this costume on, and yes, we know it makes you look like a worm, but no, it's really not a worm. and we want you to hold on this thing, and we know it looks a lot like a hook, but it's really not a hook. And we want you to hold on to this rope. And yeah, we understand that it looks like fishing line, but it's really not. But whatever you do, don't let go.
Yeah.
Now walk down the hall.
Yeah, walk down the hall. First, let me get the electroshock things turned off. I don't want you to fry too quickly at all. And
Too funny. All right, Ray and Elo, tell me what you're up to, guys.
I will abandon my terminal and go over and see what Ray's looking at, see if I can help him out.
He points out to you, and you quickly pick up on exactly what he's showing you. He explains to you, look, you know what? This program over here runs like this. It's accessing these conduits. I've gone ahead and cross-indexed that against this. Over here on this schematic, these are lining up with each other. I'm pretty sure that that is running that.
All right. Does it look safe what he's actually disabling?
Absolutely not.
Hold on a second here. Let's take another look at this. Let's see if I can figure out, one, what bad thing will happen if he continues in the direction that he's going,
All right.
and two, what the proper way is to actually disengage the system.
All right. That would actually kind of be a little bit out of your forte. You're more of a mech kind of person, where he's more of a software person.
Okay.
But if you want, you can go off and make a straight tech roll. I'll go ahead and give you a +2 bonus, +2 pips, because you guys are working together, sort of kind of cross disciplines, if you will.
Okay.
Sort of complementing each other, to see what how much energy are we talking about here? Why would something like that be put there, et cetera, et cetera. So go ahead and roll that for me. Okay, 19's good. Happy with that?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm looking at your character. I'm not seeing any character points at all. Is that correct?
I know that went away somehow. I actually have 4 left at this point.
All right. Just making sure.
So I will get that corrected there.
No problem. All right. That is a great roll. It's not a critical, or I'm sorry, a spectacular success, but it is enough for you to ascertain that this is something that looks as though it was added after. And it's really kind of strange, because when you go off and you take a look at the wire schematics and stuff like that, you notice that this stuff was actually added to the wire schematic about 5.5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
And it doesn't really make sense, because why would somebody go off and do something like this inside the base and then update the wire schematics for it? It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There is definitely enough energy in those capacitors that at any point along that entire run, and we're talking about over 100 meters, all right?
Okay.
Over that entire run would be more than sufficient to kill a regular man.
Okay. So does that juice just go to there, or is it like a charging or a coil system for somewhere else?
You're not 100% sure. All you can see off of these schematics is the amount of energy and the number of capacitors. And the charging sequence. Basically, in layman's terms, it's a giant bug zapper.
Okay.
That is really what it comes down to.
Okay.
But with the amount of energy that you're dealing with, you are really kind of unsure that even with anti-grounding material and stuff like that, that you'd be safe. There's enough of it, and it's probably in the walls and stuff like that, that it's arcing across, as opposed to just from one surface.
Okay. Now, are you saying I would be safe, or are you saying an organic would be safe? Because I've got that cybernetic limb.
You know what? That is an uninsulated limb and probably would get vaped.
Okay.
Because
So
that's
it's
what
probably
happened to the
not best
droid.
idea for me to go down there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's
You
anything.
might want to tell me, since I was heading that direction.
Yep, I don't believe that as long as the power is up and running, there's nothing safe that's going to get down there.
Okay. So we basically have to shut power, and then it makes it safe for someone who is entirely organic.
Well, entirely organic or whatever. I mean, if you guys can shunt the power, if you guys can circumvent and make this program, shut it off, then it should shut off the power down there, and it should be safe.
Okay, I will go through telling Ray what I know as I'm looking at it. What we need to do is we need to get the power away from this grid, because without it, it's a kill switch. You step into it, you get fried. And we need to make sure Akiro, don't go in that hallway. We need to make sure Akiro doesn't go in there until we give him the all clear. Because, well, we don't need him incinerated, as annoying as he can be sometimes.
I don't think I've been that annoying in a while ever since the whole, traumatic stress and psychoses.
Now that's when you started being annoying. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? It started. He's always been annoying. What are you guys
Oh,
talking about? Don't save his feelings. Just tell the truth. Jeez.
And unfortunately, it is midnight, gentlemen. I need to get off of here.
Ugh. Oh no.
Yeah, I know, but I've got to be up for work at 6:15.
Okay. Well,
So-
you know what? This might actually work out pretty well because Brett next week is talking about finishing up his, and if I've got a short one, then we probably should be able to get through this. So,
Okay.
let me think of an appropriate ending for this. Krail,
Harris. Yeah.
you hear noise out in the hallway.
Is Rito still inside?
Yes, he is. He is still in there with you.
Okay.
As this is happening, you see the droid's arm start to tremble again at the worst possible time. The rest of you guys that are up in that control room and everything like that, you look down at the computer terminal in front of you, Ray, and you see a sequence of numbers come up, and you are completely locked out of that terminal, and the lights go out. And that is where we will stop. I think that everybody should get 3 character points for outstanding role playing tonight, guys.
Nice.
Yay!
Yep. Any questions about the story so far? What's going on? As best I can explain it to you. Anything about mechanics, and any suggestions, criticisms of how I did tonight or how I can do things better.
How bad do you want to kill Harris?
I don't want to kill Harris at all.
All
I
right.
really don't. If I had wanted to kill Harris earlier, when I would have just said, you don't. No, you're done.
So many opportunities.
Yeah. But there is a point that as a game master and a storyteller, I just go, okay, we're done. You know what? At this point, there are no more ideas at this point.
Eric,
lightning.
you totally should have force point that right off the bat, so it wouldn't have had the whole eyes rolling back thing, possible brain damage for Harris.
I was really surprised that Eric did not use a force point on that.
I thought my character points would pull me through.
That's always the danger, I guess.
And my character points rolled ones.
Yeah, you've had a rough night of it, but I mean, even if you had, I mean, that was a fairly. I think you rolled like a 13.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you needed a 35.
Well,
so I
I
mean,
didn't know I needed a 35. I thought I needed like a 27.
Right. No, no, because I mean that thing was really screwed, and yeah, it was bad. But anyway, we'll definitely see what happens with Harris for sure next week. At least we don't have the whole thing. We're losing him, and then we have an entire week. This week we just have. Oh, I've just been locked out on my terminal, and the power was just shut off. What the hell?
Mhm.
All right. So nothing else then, guys.
I'm
No,
good.
Nope.
that's it
All
for
right.
me.
I'm gonna go ahead and kill the broadcast. Eric, you have a good night. We'll talk to you in a day or so.
All right. See you later, guys.
See you, man.
Have a good one.